Today is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022, and this is the Government Operations and Regulations Committee. I do detect a quorum with council members Cash, Nash, Parker, Withers, Young, and me in attendance, and we have a short agenda tonight. We'll take the first two items together, and these are resolutions on public hearing. RS 2022-1895 exempts 293 Plus Park Boulevard from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a short-term rental property non-owner occupied permit pursuant to substitute ordinance BL 2019-78, and RS 2022-1896 by Welsh exempts 295 Plus Park Boulevard from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a short-term rental property non-owner occupied. And so Councilmember Welsh is here. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, this is, Plus Park Boulevard is all a very commercial area, and everything that surrounds these buildings is commercial. And this particular development will be 50% short-term rental and 50% owner-occupied homes with people who are getting VA, FHA, and conventional loans, so a mix of income levels. And it'll be taxed at the commercial rate. So I feel like I am generally opposed to STRs, but I feel like this is a win-win, getting more housing that we need in the district and also keeping the tax levy up a little higher than normal. So I ask your approval.
Thank you. Any questions from the, yep, go ahead.
Feel like the surrounding area, we're going to hear at the public hearing.
I have not heard any objection to this at all, because it is literally, there's a factory and some warehouses. At the end of Plus Park, there's some other apartment complexes, but I haven't heard anything about this at all, not a peep, positive or negative. It just hasn't seemed to, no one seems to have any opinion about it, so.
So what's near it that's triggering the minimum distance requirement then?
There is a charter school that will be there for a couple more years.
Gotcha.
Any further discussion? Oh, and I forgot. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Are we moving 95 and 96 or one at a time?
Go ahead. We're taking them together.
Okay, we'll move 95 and 96.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. We approve. 6 in favor, 0. Bills on second reading. We have BL 2022-1528 by Sepulveda, Tombs, Stiles, and others. This amends Title II, Title VI, and Title VII of the Metropolitan Code to amend the membership of various boards and commissions. And there's a substitute for this, but could I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Councilmember Sepulveda, can you walk us through this and then tell us about the substitute?
Yes. So this basically looks at all the boards and commissions. I worked on this with several community members, the minority caucus, and the substitute was worked on with the administration and some of the board chairs. And so we sat down and discussed with them what was missing, what are some things we could change, and we got some feedback from them, and that was the substitute. But basically, this takes a certain number of nominations and puts them through the council body. So we know that we already have a certain number of nominees we could put up, and so this would just increase by smaller, well, it's not a huge margin, but increase some of those nominations we can make. All of the boards and commissions that have specific requirements, like example, an engineering degree, etc., all of that would still go through the mayor's office. We would just get the other picks that don't really have requirements. I think this is a good opportunity for us as a council body to nominate people from our neighborhoods. We tend to know a lot of the people on the ground, giving people opportunities who might not have access to be on boards and commissions. So we thought it would be a good way to bring some different perspectives.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Councilmember.
I'll move the substitute.
All right. Motion for the substitute.
Second.
Is there a second? Okay. Any discussion?
I think this is a great bill. I mean, we need to keep looking at different perspectives any way we can. I know 2 years ago I passed a bill we passed a bill that I sponsored that suggested that that gave us a report every year on certain demographics. And I know that the mayor's office, in conjunction with IT, has has kind of redone the collection of information and the site. And I kind of, can you like tell us about the rollout of that?
It's active now. I think the Rules Committee has requested sort of a walkthrough, maybe through IT or Keith Durbin. But it now allows, hopefully, an easier online experience for potential and interested board and commission members. A quick click tells you what the board does, tells you the vacancies, pending upcoming vacancies, requirements, and links you to the application process. The application will collect the data that for years we simply did not collect, and have started to in the more recent years, but not as effectively online as we could. And this, I think, will give the council and the public very good data to use to further our minority representation objectives and other goals.
Yeah, and council members talked about, I think, one of the goals, being different perspectives, and mentioned that, like, we might be able to nominate people from our neighborhoods or our areas. And so are we able to get to that data source and see, like, who's in our district or who's in certain zip codes? Did we ask the clerk for it, or?
Yeah, clerk, I think the clerk could probably compile, give me every board member who lives in District X. The current membership lists also have supposed to have the residential addresses for each, and most of them do. Occasionally there's a lapse.
Like the one on the board or commission site?
Right.
Of Nashville, got it. Thanks.
And I may be speaking for Councilmember Cash here, but I think what I thought was being asked there is, like, would we have access to the information from the portal of interested parties? So, like, if we're collecting, let's say we've got a pool of 100 people who want to be on 5 different boards, and we know there's an opening coming up as council members, and it's a council opening, would we have access to the applicant pool information, or
Yeah,
no?
I think so. I'd really I guess we need to schedule the Rules Committee demonstration, but it's active now if you want to just sort of toy with it.
I got the sense that we would need to ask, not that we could just go into the site ourselves, but that's a great.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
the
we want
easier
that.
it is for us, the better.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that question.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. That's all I had.
Any additional discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
Is that the substitute?
That was the substitute. All right, thank you. Sorry, you guys, I am here and
I'll move the bill as substituted.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, any further discussion on the bill as substituted? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes as substituted. 6 in favor, 0 against. And the last item on our agenda is BL 2022-1579 by Parker. This amends the Metropolitan Code Section 6.28.035 to align the term of the member of the Metropolitan Council appointed to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board with the Metropolitan Council term. Councilmember Parker?
Thank you. Is it appropriate for me to move it, give an explanation, and move it? I'll move the bill.
Second.
All right.
Okay. So, quite simply, when we did that bill that Councilman Berpoli, I think, ran in 2020, we moved all the short-term rental regulations from Title 17 to Title 6. A couple other cleanup things. We also created the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. One of the spots on that board is selected by the Metropolitan Council to serve a 2-year term. But because of the timing of when that term began, it did not align with council terms and with our other 2 council-selected positions, the Traffic and Parking Commission and the Planning Commission. And so what this is doing is it will shorten the existing term and kind of align that with the other 2 council-selected board positions. So.
Thank you. I think that's a great idea, and I just wanted to acknowledge the great work that you're doing on that. It's been a great board for us, and my community has feedback that it works, so thank you for your good work on it. Any additional discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And with that, that's the end of our agenda, and the meeting is adjourned.